like, I really feel like everything I do, I always like overproduce it. I try to like make everything like, how do I make this content entertaining every second of what I'm doing, right? And so like part of like me trying to do this is me trying to like not do that, and me trying to just like let shit happen and see whatever flows, naturally, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so let me just jump into this, give you a quick introduction for people who may not know you. I as I start out, I'm definitely going to be doing like a battle rap type of, like appealing to like those people just because I know some of those people, and those are people that
That's your
like,
network.
yeah, yeah. And but in the long term, I don't plan to like limit it to anybody. I really just kind of like, part of it was me trying to get an outlet for myself to try to talk to people about shit that I don't necessarily have the ability to talk to people about. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the rundown of it. But for anybody who may not be aware of who you are, your name is Alex, but you go by the name of Lexx Luthor, right? You are a battle rapper, a pretty successful one in my opinion. Other than just being incredibly good at writing and rapping, I mean, you've been on URL, King of the Dot. You go old school, Grind Time, back when Grind Time was still
Definitely
popping.
swept up a couple accolades along the way.
Yeah, yeah. And then on top of that, you're also the owner of a rap battle league called iBattle, which I think is, easily top three battle leagues right now. I guess I should correct myself a little. I don't know exactly. Are you still the owner? Is that
Yeah,
a
I mean,
thing?
on paper.
Yeah, on paper. No, I mean, I know, yeah, like, I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about that in general? Just like, I feel like it's got to be hectic, right? You're working with a lot of different people. You got a lot of different personalities involved. There's definitely probably a lot of people who have entitlement and feel like, okay, like I deserve like this shot, or I deserve to battle this person, or whatever, or even like I deserve, to make X amount of dollars in a battle, whatever that. So I mean, like, how do
There's
you?
also the other side of like meeting expectations, right? Of like these people that do deserve it.
Right.
Like you do deserve these things. There is no argument. And now I have to meet those expectations and give you the things that you deserve, even though it might be kind of difficult,
Right.
you know?
I mean, how do you navigate that? How do you like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, yeah, you're kind of like looking at it from the positive perspective, I think, where,
I think
you
it's
have
important to take a
100%.
little bit from both, right?
Right, right. You 100% have done a great job, I think, of taking people who, were previously not really known, and you know how to build talent. And that's not something that I want to say, I don't think I've seen any league do that really. I mean, it's kind of sad, but like, I don't feel like they've
Well,
done that, successfully I mean, I would say like OSBL is one I could think of. They've done that pretty well.
it's not a lucrative like business model. That's why it's like,
Yeah,
when Tony Khan said some like, WWE has like a performance center where they train everybody. And Tony Khan straight up said it on some interview. He was like, that's just not our business model. It's just not what we do, you
right.
know? And it's the same thing in hip hop, period. Like the business, like the whole position of A&R is gone. Like I don't need anyone to scout anybody. I don't need artist development. This guy has 250,000 followers on Instagram. That's all I need,
Right.
So they just pick the popular people, just like the battle leagues do. Like no shade, but they see who's popping, who's being talked about, who could add to the card, and they go with it.
Right. So I mean, like, do you have like any one particular goal that drives you? Like I've seen it like firsthand as a battler. You've booked me in the past before, and like I can tell a difference even as a battler, like between different league owners and like the amount of effort that they put in. Like if I book with you, I know that you're going to promote the battle, which not every league does that. I know that you're going to give me the space to promote my battle, which again, not every league does that. I know like one thing, like a small thing, it's just to be like, before the event, we have a group chat, and it's like all the people that are in that event, like, what time battles are happening, like who's going to be battling. All of that communication does not always happen. And I'm aware that it definitely takes, a concerted amount of effort to do that. So I appreciate you for that. But like, what really drives you to do what you do? What makes you feel like,
That's pretty much what you just said, because like if I don't do it, then what?
then what? I mean, like, so I mean, like the downside, right? Like,
Then you don't get that communication. You don't get that artist development.
right.
You don't get that community. And a lot of these guys that wouldn't get the opportunity to brand themselves and become somebody larger than life, they might not have that stepping stone to do that in life, you know?
Right. I mean, so I wanted to go a little bit more meta. Like when I said, and then what I was really thinking was like, okay, like let's just say, hypothetically, I don't wish this at all. Like, let's say like you step away from iBattle, you go towards like you doing, whatever, endeavor fulfills like your, happiness and Zen or whatever. Like what is it that like gravitates you towards like iBattle? What is it that gravitates you towards like, you work ridiculously hard to accomplish, something. You got to have like something in the back of your mind that's saying like, this is my goal or something, I don't know.
It's like when I go in the store and I get an extra water bottle because there's a homeless guy outside.
Right.
It's like second nature. I don't even think about it,
Right.
So it's like I could step away, sure, but like somebody's still going to need help.
Right.
And it's like, and I have a very hard time being like, well, it ain't me, bud. Sorry. Like go call someone else. Like it's just not in my nature. And I have a hard time doing that. Even when I did step away, Paul said it over the weekend. He was like, somebody cracked the joke like, oh, Lexx fake retired, And Paul was like, nah, fuck that. He's like, I remember how long it was. It was 6 weeks and it was the longest 6 weeks of my fucking life, So it's like if one of my best friends feels super overwhelmed because I'm not helping, like I don't know how to just be like, sorry, man, like fucking figure it out,
Right. I mean, like that's got to come at a cost, though, right? Like, I understand what you're saying, and I definitely feel where you're coming from because, like, there are definitely times when I feel like I want to try to like please everybody and try to like it's not even pleasing. I know these are your actual friends and these are people that you want to do right by. But
I mean,
like,
not even some of them are strangers. Like
right.
I would say a fucking large amount of them are strangers.
Right. So I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like I've tried to book, 2 events. It really is, in my opinion, a very stressful thing. Not for the the weak-willed. I will say that much. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Like, let me ask you something. Like, in the battle rap community, like, do you feel like there are any like misconceptions about you, about like iBattle, about like things that like, you wish people like understood, maybe because, in some circles, people will hear it from other people and then just, they'll have their own like preconceived notions. Like, somebody says, like Lexx did this and this. And then like, other people are going to
it just
circulate
comes
that.
with the territory, like.
Right.
It comes with the territory, and if I didn't have thick skin, I wouldn't have been here from day one. Like I kind of knew what I signed up for. Like, granted, there's some days that I crack. There's things that I do that I crash out a lot, and I wish I didn't do them. Like, I wish I didn't fucking do a couple things. It's definitely people that I wish I didn't stick it to. Like I have definitely because of constant opinions and like. Shady shit that goes on and shit talk, and it just builds up and builds up. And then sometimes I've had enough of some of these people, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I try to stick it to them in some way, whether it's like, I'm a better league owner than you. I'm a better battler than you. I'm a better this than you. I have more of this than you. You don't do that. I'm here. You're here. I feel the need to do that sometimes. Maybe it's the battler in me, even though I'm a league owner. But it's also just the constant, like, keeping opinions to myself, trying not to pay attention to ignore people. Every like 1,000 ignores, I have one crack where I'm like, actually, fuck this guy. There's nobody I consider myself having problems with right now. I'm sure there's people that think they have problems with me, right. But to be completely honest, there's nobody I have issues with, that I if I saw them out, I would feel the need to beat them up, you know, like
Right.
there's nobody I feel that way about. There's definitely people that feel that way about me. And the reason they feel that way about me is because I felt the need to stick it to them. And I probably did.
Right. So like kind of going back to what you were saying about like you feeling like maybe that's like the battler in you. And I feel like, you know, I'm also part of like the battle rap community. So I kind of like get the perspective of like, you know, I see what people say. I kind of like there definitely is a level of like you have to be like you have to be to some degree. Now, I won't say violent, but like that is like, you know, that's authenticity. When you talk, like you go on stage and you rap about guns, when you rap about like, you know, whatever your opponent, there is an emphasis on authenticity. There is if you're not authentic, it gets frowned upon by some people. Not everybody is the same. There's definitely people that are just, you know, hey, this is hip hop. We're just, you know, rapping. And that's how I've always kind of like felt it, you know, just like to be like, you know, like me, honestly, like part of the reason I battle is I want to get that, you know, that lunchroom cafeteria feel like I grew up. You know, we used to cipher, you know, even like in the lines, they had like these big metal poles and we would just like drop a beat on, you know, the poles and like we would just be rapping and freestyling out front. And that shit was like, I mean, it was one of the like better moments of my childhood in terms of feeling like I was accepted among like, you know, a community of people. I didn't feel that way for most of my like, you know, middle high school and all that bullshit. But like, I feel like that has kind of like I've lost that outlet to some degree, and battle rap is that, but it's not quite the same because, you know, it doesn't. I feel like even when I put out battles and stuff, sometimes people are like, oh, you know, this white guy, blah blah blah. He's, you know, I remember somebody like on Reddit the other day, and it's like a part of it's just like I'm just online a lot, but like it's just like right. But I'm on Reddit and like I was just like I was trying to give like, you know, some details on how to write punches, and I wasn't really even trying to write a punch, and then some guy comes on there and he's just like, well, you came up with this bar. I said this when I was 14. It's like, dude, like I'm just spitballing. This is like back of the napkin math, right? Like
that's the internet period though. That's not like
right.
That's not like just relative to battle rap, right? Like that's anything. Like it's anything you go online for. Like I could go online to look up the new Fortnite season and people are fucking wiling in the comments.
Right,
like,
right.
This is the dumbest shit ever. And it's just like, bro, they just have to get it out. See, but that is what I mean about myself too. Like they have to get it out. Sometimes I feel the need to get it out. You know what I mean? To be like, actually, all this stuff I got built up, I'm about to take it out on you because you're stupid and annoying, you know?
Right. And like, yeah, I mean, like, I just feel like the only person that I've seen that could really kind of like be like what I think is authentically themselves, but also not be, well, I won't say only person. There's a lot of people like Homeschool, I think does that. Like, but like one person that really stands out to me as like complete package and it's just like XQZ, right? Like he very much is unapologetically himself, which is just like a middle class white dude who's like low energy. His name is even something like Extra Quiet Zest or something like that's like the acronym I remember him saying. Like so that's like but other than him, I don't really see that like represented much in battle rap. You have people, you know, who do fabricate, myself included. Like, and then you also have you know, people who just don't like, I don't know, who aren't, I mean, like entirely, I don't know. It's hard to say, but like, but yeah, I don't know. It's just,
I understand what you're trying to say, that there are some people that come in and just straight up emulate, and they're like, you know, this is what my favorites do. Like, this is their formula. I'm going to try it. And when they're doing it, they're like, oh, does this sound like something this person would say? You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely a big thing here. But bro, there's also people who are, you know what I mean? Like a K Venom, all the way to Cassius Clay, or like, you know, Sweeney, or, you know, there are people who are pretty much themselves throughout the whole battle. Even if it's like, I'll let a guy like Mike get away with a gun bar every now and then, but the rest of his material for the most part is just him being an annoying prick, which is he is in real life. So I'll take it, you know?
right. Well, see, so my thing was never even that I wanted to like portray myself as anything. It was literally just like I grew up off like, I'm writing bars and like I think it's something that's fire. I never think of like I'm gonna write a gun bar. I never say that to myself. I don't say I'm gonna write a drug bar. I just think of shit and I'm like, well, this is too fire for me to not say it. Like
Right.
and like I do think of some crazy shit. So it's just like,
I definitely think that battlers have a way better shot when they come up with concepts like that to try to find a way to do it that isn't a gun bar.
right.
Like, make it apply to your opponent if you can.
Right.
You know?
And I try to do that too. So here's the thing, like, well, the other thing, right, is that I just deal with the fact that like I want to be a friendly person, right? Like that's just like at my core who I want to be, what I want to like, aspire to. I'm 35 now. I'm moving out of battle rap, right? Like eventually that's gonna like, I mean, as far as like me as a fan, I'm always gonna be like in the background, but like I can't, be 50 years old and still doing the same shit, especially when like
Be like
I know there's no
I could be like
career.
80. I could be like fucking 88.
Right,
watching.
right. Well, I mean, like, but you're also not doing it like as a career, right? You're not like trying
No,
to like make
no, but I'm
yourself.
definitely doing it. I'm definitely doing it as like a what else do you do? Like sometimes I feel weird sometimes when I go places and like we talk about like Lex, what do you do for a living? And I've always done different things to get the bills paid, right?
Right.
So we'll have the talk and whatever, and then whenever it gets to like what else do you do? I'm like, oh, I battle rap. Like, what do you do? And then people are just like, I don't fucking do anything. You know what I mean? So I love that I have that.
I meet so many people who don't know don't understand battle rap, right? Like I was talking to my boss, like we met for breakfast and I was just talking to him and like, it's like people think 8 Mile still like in 2024, right? Like freestyles over beats, like the average person that doesn't know anything about battle rap. Like I guess maybe because not everybody who watches this will be familiar with battle rap. Can you clarify, what happened to battle rap? How did it get to where it is right now? As opposed to like Scribble Jam era.
I mean, grind time, right? Like Direct and them were hitting up freestyle battlers that were like legendary from 106 in Park or the DVD era or whatever.
I think some people just wanted a competitive edge, though. There was definitely a period of time where like it was the freestyle era, and there were some people still writing.
Yeah, they were writing anyway. So it was like a lot of the people that were bookers were like, these people are all writing anyway. Let's just book them months ahead of time, give them a date, and let's see what happens. Well, look at Pat Stay. Pat Stay's the first one. Rest in peace. They were doing it out in Nova Scotia, being like, yo, meet up on this date. This is when the battle is. And they were putting them on YouTube. I know me personally, I was doing the same type of thing in Job Corps where like, this is the date that you guys battle. And we wrote like, I mean, I didn't have too many freestyle battles growing up, but I had at least 40 written battles before YouTube,
Right.
So the Nova Scotia was like the first one to be like, we're going to film this shit and put it on YouTube and have them write. And it's going to be epic. And they were fucking geniuses for it.
Right. And RIP Pat Stay, who like was an incredible battler. And I guess on that tone, like, I've seen a lot of battlers kind of pass away, like while I've been like, in the battle rap community. I mean, it's like even the people that I've battled, I've only had like 30 battles or so. 3 of them have passed away. That's, like one of those people I battled like 3 times. So it's like out of 27, 28 battles or something. That's a pretty significant ratio, I think. I think there's a lot of things. I mean, they're not all for the same reasons. Like Pat Stay was stabbed, and I think that that was incredibly terrible. But like it stems from, I think, a kind of sometimes a toxic kind of culture where like I don't know. I don't know the full story about like what happened with Pat Stay. I know that like the dude like has had prior incidents and. I think they're still having a hard time like actually locking him up, which is fucking ridiculous. Like how is the justice system so fucking faulty that somebody could be like multiple times and commit murder and they're just like, all right, we're just gonna
if we're going there, it's gonna take forever.
All right. I mean, we can do it however you want to. I mean, I'm not set in anything. I'm moving like water here.
Like
So
money really is the only thing that matters. The guy that the murderer, you know, is obviously connected to a lot of things that go on illegally out there. You know, I'm not just gonna say what he does because I don't know, but
right,
you know, Nova Scotia is like the fucking sex trafficking capital of Canada.
right.
So, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, right? But hey, man, listen, if this guy's got powerful people in powerful places and he's taking care of things for people that need things to be taken care of and he's got a decent amount of money, I mean, you can really get away with whatever the fuck you want in this country with some money.
Yeah.
Well, it's not this country, but this continent, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so much like you said, is a very deep rabbit hole to get into, and I won't
That's
go too
something
far.
that like in the US happens all the fucking time, bro. All the
Yeah.
time. The mayor where I'm at in New York is just got caught like laundering money with Turkey, doing a whole bunch of fucked up shit, stealing money from all these places,
I
flying.
think I heard a story that like that stemmed from like Sabrina Carpenter, like had like a music video and they filmed it in like a church or whatever. And then they started like doing research on like why they allowed her to film that like video in the church. And then like somehow it got connected back to the mayor. That's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, like it was a thing. They had a location that didn't pass all the safety codes. And the Turkish government was like, yo, Mayor Eric Adams, hook it up for us. Like, I know it's not safe, but we need it open because these things are going to happen. And he opened it for them.
Right.
That's so it did stem from that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So I'm gonna switch my gear a little
People
bit.
suck in the world before you switch. People
Right.
suck and people succumb to temptation very easily in the world. And what really, really keeps me walking away is because I feel like I'm doing something good. And that is not to be walked away from.
Right.
Right. And, you know, I think that just came a little full circle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can definitely see that. And it's just like I find myself sometimes like I feel like I want to do, you know, I don't know what it is. You know, sometimes it's just like I want to do something more than what I do to like make the world a better place. And then I just also find myself just too lazy to do it. I just don't have the energy to like every day to be an activist. Like I want to, like part of me, but then like part of me is like that's a lot of commitment. I don't like I have a hard time even just like driving more than 30 minutes, man. I just like I don't want to go places if they're too far away. And I don't know. I'm really weird. I have shit like going on in my head that just like it's just the constant like me trying to like I don't know occupy my time with my own fucking thoughts.
Yeah.
But
I think for me, I find myself doing the same thing, like really preoccupied in my thoughts because I have a lot going on and I have crazy ADHD and I smoke a ton of weed.
right,
So my thoughts, especially like creative thoughts, right? All day, I just spill over and I spill over. But you know what? Honestly, I just try to latch on to the things that like are really beneficial, and I try to get them done, whether it's beneficial for myself, beneficial for the people around me, and I try to back it up with positive self-talk too. So even if I do mess up along the way, or I'm like, oh fuck, I fucked this up, and I'm like, everybody fucks everything up. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I can't even tell you. Like my wife works at a hospital, and like I hear stories about how they fuck shit up, and like not even just this hospital. She's worked at many other hospitals as well, and it's just like these are the people. Like these are doctors and like people like real doctors, not just like a nurse or whatever. Like these are the actual people that like will do surgery on you
learned
and will fuck up.
doctors.
And like yeah, yeah, yeah. And so it's just crazy to me if they're fucking up at that level, right? They're fucking up everywhere, right? Like that's just the reality.
People fuck up, mistakes get made, and I guess just learning from them, I guess, would be the point of life, right?
Right.
It's okay to fuck up. Just don't keep fucking up.
Or just try to fuck up less as you move along in life.
Yeah, like if you do cocaine and have a terrible night, that's okay. Don't do cocaine in the morning.
I've
You know?
actually never done coke. I got this idea when I started doing mushrooms, but like Yeah, Coke is one of the ones where I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna get addicted to this, and I'm not gonna be able to like, I don't know, man.
Not good. It's not fun. And you might as well just have a C4 energy drink because it's the same fucking thing.
Right.
That stuff is a drug.
Right. I mean, you use a lot of marijuana. Do you ever feel like, I don't know, do you feel like it's a crutch to some degree? Like, um,
Yes, definitely. And even my doctor told me, they're like, yo, man, like you smoke a lot of weed and it's cool. It's not like you have fucking lung problems right now, but it's not helping.
edibles.
Yeah, he's like, it's not helping you at all. Right?
Right.
Like you have a lot of tasks, you get overwhelmed very easily. He's like, if you smoke to come down from something overwhelming, fine. He's like, you're high before something even happens. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's why I can deal with it though. Like
do you feel like do you still get like high? Like you know what I mean? Like
I get high like I'm a little kid.
Right. Like how much do you do? I know edible quantities. I don't know grams and shit. Like
a half ounce. I smoke like a half ounce a week. Not that much.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like
14 grams a week.
Right. I struggle with like alcoholism. I also use edibles quite a lot. Like, like for the most part, I drink like more or less every night, like, half a bottle of vodka and then like maybe like 40, 50 milligrams of like edibles. But
half a bottle of vodka every night is absolutely insane.
I know a lot of people probably look at me and they think, oh, I like eat cheeseburgers and shit. No, this weight is 90% like alcohol. And I'm trying. I've been like, I really am trying to like cut back, and I'm trying to like, and that's part of like this whole thing. This why I started this podcast really like was just so I can give myself an outlet that I'm like trying so many random different things to try to get myself in a mental state where I feel like I don't need like, at least that's the thing. Like I go into therapy, right? My therapist tells me like, this is like, there's a reason why you drink. Now, I didn't go into there saying that. I didn't go into there thinking like, oh, I just like, I feel like it's 6 o'clock. I want to like chill and just relax. And so then I go drink. But like, I don't know. It's like, it's like when I go to therapy, it's always like from the perspective of like, what are you trying to avoid? What are you trying to get away from? What do you that type of shit? Like, and I'm still figuring that out. Like, because like, that's all I got. Right. Like,
it could be as simple as just your thoughts and occupying your time. Like what now? Mm-hmm. I don't want to just sit here with my thoughts. That's fucking terrifying. I'm going to go drink.
Yeah. That's 100% it. And like, and part of it is like, it's like, I don't want to get into all my shit right now. But like,
we could take it back to me. Like, it's pretty much the same thing with me. Like when I smoke in the morning, it's because the pressure of the world hits me as soon as I wake up, and it's like, you have to do this, 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 you have to do this. And that's just your relationship. Now you have to do this and this and this and this. And that's the stuff around the house. And then these things are all the stuff you have to do before you get into the office. And then these things are all the things you have to do for iBattle. Don't forget to, and it hits me all at once and I have to smoke, or else I have a hard time deciphering it. I have a hard time picking things one by one and like doing things task by task. I got to make a list. You know what I mean? Like being alone with your thoughts will do all types of stuff to you, you know? And it could also be a positive outlet. Like I'm sure if we were fucking artists and we drew, we would just fucking draw,
Well, I think really what it is though is like, it's like, do you find like peace with that, right? Like, it's like it's fine to be an artist and say I draw, that's what I do, but it's like if that becomes your identity, where you're finding your value in what the reason I'm valuable to other people is because I'm a rapper, or the reason I'm valuable to other people is because I own this company or whatever. Like then that becomes like you can always keep working to achieve the goal. But then once you achieve the goal, you're going to be like, what next? Right. And
sometimes I don't even give a fuck about a reason. I just let things happen naturally. You know what I mean? Like people will, ask me like, why do you battle, like, you know, throughout the years? And I'd be like, cause I don't fucking know. Like I go to work, and then when I walk home at night from the train station to my house, I fucking rap to myself.
Right.
And I've just always been like that. You can go back to when I'm 11 and I'd get yelled at to take the trash out, and I'd rap taking the trash out because it was I don't want to be alone with my thoughts.
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So this is what we do. We
Right.
rap. We come up with multis. We come up with punchlines. I do it at bus stops. I do it in the shower. I do it fucking at parties. I don't know anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I do it fucking everywhere. So if I would like to look at it as I'm very thankful for it, because God knows what the fuck other people think about when they walk home at night, you know? You know?
I mean, everybody's different. Like, you know, like if you think of like a monk, right? Like, I mean, I tend to like, I want to believe that like, you know, monk is going to just be like, calm zen, not really like, it's not really, you know, an internal struggle or whatever. Like they just find peace with like, to be at peace with all the bad things. Right. All right, let's get to this, right? Like, let's talk about like, because you mentioned this when you were 11 and shit. Like, so where did you like grow up? You're from Staten Island, right?
I was born in Monmouth in New Jersey.
Okay.
And I lived out there for like the first 3 years of my life. I didn't really know my dad. My mother passed away when I was 3. I went straight into foster care, and I bounced around a lot, you know? I was in all over Staten Island, really, until I was about 16. And at 16, I went to Job Corps. And when I got out of Job Corps, I was gangbanging. And then to transition out of gangbanging, I started battle rapping.
All right. So let me just kind of rewind a bit. So like, do you mind like expounding like what happened with your father? Like why was he not in the picture? Or I mean, like you may not even know. Some people don't.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's so much about myself that I don't know. Like my girl's so on me about doing this 23 and Me too, because like I don't even know all of my nationalities because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like my past is like so mysterious. I mean, I have a sister, but my sister doesn't really know much about my dad either. She has a different dad.
Right.
You know, my mom was married to her father. They got divorced. She married my dad for a few years. She started dying. He disappeared, and I don't know, you know.
So, okay. So after that, can you tell me what it was like, you know, like being in foster care? Like, you know, I mean,
I was with different members of family that were somehow related to me in foster care. I wasn't in like a group home or anything like that.
right.
I bounced around from house to house. Friends of the family, my aunt and uncle, my cousins. I stayed different places throughout my life. I bounced around every few years.
Do you feel like you ever had like a stable kind of family, like community really within your family, where people that you like go to Thanksgiving with or Christmas with, whether you like them or not, right? Like
I've had no stable anything until maybe like 6 years ago.
right.
I've had no stable anything. I've lived somewhere different every 2 or 3 years my whole life. And I think the first time I've ever had some stability of any sort was recently.
Right. And is like, when did you mentioned your girl, when did you meet her? And like,
We met when we were 15. My girl's actually Sean O'Shawn's cousin.
okay.
So me and Sean grew up together. He was 13 and I was 14. I met his cousin when we were 15. So she's known me since I was a little kid.
Right. And then, so how long have y'all actually been dating? I mean,
Since probably 2017.
Okay,
2017, yeah.
and then, so, I mean, I guess, would you say that's where you feel like you kind of found like more, I don't know, stability in terms of like family stuff or communities?
Yeah, like because she forces me to do it, right? Like I've had a lot of girlfriends before. I've had 2 different girls that I've lived with throughout my life, like that. We would have an apartment and fucking pay rent together and whatever, play house, right?
Right.
I've had two other girls that I've played house with, but that still wasn't all the way stable. I wasn't all the way great to them either. I was fucking around, you know.
Right.
But this is the first time it's like, you know, I got a dog, I got cats in the yard that I feed, you know, I mow my fucking lawn, right?
Right.
And yeah, she like forces me to go to family stuff that normally I wouldn't go to. I wouldn't go to a Christmas or Thanksgiving. I have a lot of friends that invite me over, but I feel weird and I don't go to it. Right? They'll be like, "Oh, my friends whose parents have known me since I was a little kid." They'd be like, "Invite Lex, make sure he comes." But I never want to do it. Right?
Can I ask you why you feel weird about that? Like, I mean, obviously you got the invitation, so
Like a handout or like a pity thing. I know it's not.
right, right.
But it ain't a good time being at the table, the only person that's family. I actually feel better just being home and eating Chinese food.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm also not sad home alone, right? So it's not like they're saving me from any like depressing night, right? I just kind of, it's a big family thing. And it's like, I don't need to be there for that because that's not my thing. I don't watch football. I don't need to be there for the Super Bowl either.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
Super Bowl parties are lit though. I mean, like
I know, but I don't watch football, so I still wouldn't go because I don't know what the fuck is going on. But
right.
yo, you know, if your mother invited me to UFC night or 4th of July firework barbecue, I'd go to that.
Right, right.
You know, but when it's like family time and it's like you could come with me, I'm like, nah, I'm all right, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand it. Like I'm trying to look at this both ways because I know if I were in your position, I would feel exactly the same. And because I mean, I had a pretty like isolated like childhood growing up, and so I just feel like I've grown further away from all of my family and stuff. When I look at you, like I imagine, right? Like I don't know for certain, but like I imagine that you kind of have your own family within the iBattle community, right? You have people like Eddie and Archie and Paul and all these people that you surround yourselves, self with, and do business with, and I'm sure bullshit with outside of that, and like so I mean, like in a sense, you kind of created your own family even before that. And so I mean, like I don't know, we got to get together and do like an iBattle. Fucking,
I definitely get the same things that people get out of family functions, out of iBattle stuff. Sometimes, granted, that's not what I'm like here for or searching for. I definitely do get the same type of stuff. And like I said, I have a sister, so like sometimes if I really want to, I can go skate over my sister's family. I have nieces and nephews, right? But you know. I'd rather just eat Chinese food, smoke a blunt, and like watch X-Men 97.
yeah. I'm so low key too, right? Like where it's just like I don't really want to always go do shit. Let's just fucking chill. Like that's it. Like that's it. Just chill. Like
yeah, I have to like promise people that it's like, hey, like I am not upset. You know what I mean? Like I am okay. I just don't want to. Right?
yeah, yeah. And that can be hard. That can be hard too to tell somebody like you just don't want to do something, and like
that's not my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I have friends that do all types of shit that I have to constantly tell them it's not my thing.
Right, right. So let me ask you, like, how did you transition from that into, like you said, gangbanging? So like, where did you get your introduction to that? Where did you like? I remember actually like I saw a post that you had made a long time ago about like I don't remember exactly what happened. There was a dude, I think like maybe y'all forced a tattoo on him or something like that, and you remember like the smell. I don't know if you want to get into that, but like let's just go back to the beginning and.
Well, when I was in Job Corps, there was always this like looming like what happens when it's over? Where am I going to go when it's over? I'll be 18. Right. And like that bad feeling, the gang life kind of took over because it was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Now I had an answer, whereas I didn't have one before. And the way I got so involved was I had friends outside that were in the gang. I had friends inside that were in the gang. I was spending all my time with them. And just like any kid that was 16 years old would do, they'd be like, I'm one of you guys, you know? And it was like that for a long time. It was like that from when I was 16 to when I was like 19, 20, 21. Like in that age of when I started battling. It was like right when I started battling, that like first year and a half is when I started telling my friends who were fucking real deal criminals that, bro, I got opportunities in Canada. Like I could go to London, like I don't want to sit in front of the store and sell Molly with you, like,
Right.
like I don't want to jeopardize this anymore. And they, all my friends were okay with it. And it's not like I bounced from the gang. It was just kind of like these things that, like any friendship, keeps you guys close. We weren't close like that anymore. I didn't want to do the things that they wanted to do. I didn't care about gang politics or who ran what neighborhood and who did what. Like I just didn't care anymore. I had something else. And not only that, I have the thing that has always been in my head anyway. Like I said, I would fucking come up with stuff taking out the trash when I was a little kid. So it's like once battle rap became real to me, it was like everything else was a waste of time. I was like, this is the thing in my head has become real. All the other stuff is kind of fake.
Do you feel like, I mean, did you ever feel like, this was not going to be like a viable alternative for you? Like, I mean, battle rap, there's only so many slots up there for people who are really getting paid enough to make a living off of it.
Never about money. Never.
So
not at one point. Not at one point was it about money. Now the girl I dated at the time, different story. She was like, when are you going to get paid? Like, when is this going to, and I'd be like, soon. But to me, I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to beat the people that people thought were good. And I wanted to be better than I already was. It was like after every battle, I would be like, ooh, I got to fix this, or I got to fix that, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. Or like, here's an idea for a promo video, or like, what if I did this to be interesting? You know what I mean? Like that just kind of took everything over.
But I mean, as far as like finance is concerned, right? Were you ever like worried about your own self? Like, I mean, like what, like, because I mean, you mentioned that like you started from like, selling drugs, and there's plenty of lucrative money in that if you do it, right. And then
I was also a security guard at ShopRite overnight.
Okay. So,
like there's many ways to get it done.
Do you ever feel like, you regret that decision? Like even just like a small amount, right? Like
no,
not even. All right, cool.
No, not even a little bit. Want to know why?
Why?
It's like the monks.
Simple, trying to find peace and security.
Simple, minimalist. I mean, listen, battle rap ain't the most peaceful place.
No,
but
it's not.
I will say that being a writer and a performer gives me more peace than anything else.
I think, I had that thing too in the back of my head, but the problem is that like I found it like even now, right? Like I haven't battled. I was supposed to battle Black Mage at the beginning of the year. I haven't battled it all this year, and I'm still. I still find myself with the like thinking of like bars and stuff in the back of my head. Every time I'm like watching a movie, I'm like, oh, this person just mentioned Superman. How do I make a bar about Superman? That type of shit. And like, I'm trying to get rid of that a little bit, like where it's just like, because I feel like it's so tough to always be like always like, even when I'm not in a battle, I'm still thinking about that shit, and I don't know how to just
maybe embrace it and figure out a different way to funnel it.
Yeah, part of that was like that. Like I started doing stand-up comedy at one point in my life, but like I don't know, it's all right. But like it is a very similar
you don't
thing.
Get the competitive drive from it. Imagine if you roast battled, you'd probably love it.
Maybe. I just sometimes like the competitiveness of battle rap turns me off. Like it's just like I feel like like I said, I want to be like in the lunchroom freestyling, and yeah, there's like competitiveness, but it's never like it doesn't get as deep as battle rap where people just get like genuinely offended sometimes. People will take it very personal if you just say something like, oh, I don't like your style, or I don't like your like people just get all fucking worked up.
For me, like I don't write anything down, right? Like I put everything's in my head.
Mhm.
So I just kind of walk around, I make stuff up, I store it, and then I compact it, and then I make a new one, and then I compact it, and then I make something new, and then I compact it, and then at the battle, I'll like spit my round, and after I'll be like, yeah, beat that, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like it's that aspect that I really like too. It's the here's all the stuff I've been working on. Try to beat that. You know, like, I love that.
Have you ever had a battle where you feel like you very clearly lost?
Yeah, I've had a few. I've had
Any,
few in between, but yes.
like, can you tell me about like one in particular? And
I want to say Dirt, but that's like all the way at the beginning of my career.
that was a long time ago. Dirt was fire too.
Yeah, he was like the best in the world, and I battled him when I was brand new.
Well, that's y'all. I mean, y'all have very different styles as well. Like he's like very like personal, like grind timey, like multis, but I'll also
I didn't even
insult
know
you.
how to do that yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch the battle. I remember seeing it when it first came out, but like it's been so long. I know I battled like Richard Cranium. He destroyed the shit out of me, like so much that like I will never let that happen again. Where like I've gotten to the point where like I've had a couple times where I've choked and like I will not allow myself to do that again because I care too much about like the quality of what I put out. Like even if I only do one more battle, I would rather do that than to have like four battles where I'm half-assing it. I
Yeah,
just
that
want to
makes a
make
lot of
sure
sense.
that I just want
I
to make
also
sure I'm
feel like
living up to myself.
I lost to Megadeth pretty bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stay away from rednecks the rest of my career, and I'll be fine.
Trying to think of who a redneck might be. I might be pretty close on that. Maybe you versus CJA. That could be rough.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from it. No, they got to be a little tall.
Anybody with a mullet.
They got to be able to pass as like a army veteran. You know, that's my weakness.
Yeah. So what I mean, like, do you have any plans for iBattle as you move forward? Is there what is the kind of like ideal situation if you could kind of wave a wand? What does iBattle look like? 5 years from now?
I can't really tell. You know, I can't really tell. I can't call it. I can't really call what anything's going to be tomorrow, let alone in 5 years. I can tell you that I think the art form and the community itself is very special and it has a lot of potential worldwide, which we have already seen. Um, I think URL has their um, corner of the market completely taken care of, right? And I think there's a big, wide open space for us. It's just about taking the steps it takes to make our brand much more bigger and mainstream and seen. And maybe that'll take 5 years. Maybe it'll take one. Maybe it takes 6 months. We'll see.
Right.
Right now, currently, I'm working on getting it in front of as many eyes as I can. I've learned a couple things recently. I'm always trying to get better at my game. I'm always trying to get around people that know more than me and ask questions. And I've gotten a few answers recently that I think will take it where I want it to be in 5 years. And where I want it to be is, I want it to be, you never know, Madison Square Garden, wherever we can, big venues.
I mean, that's definitely what's the word? Ambitious. But I mean, like obviously.
I sat at a Rangers game recently and I looked around, man, and I was like, this shit is fucking possible. I swear to God, felt that shit down to my toes. I was like, this shit is fucking possible. Like, what are people talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I really do believe it, but it takes a certain element that we don't have yet. And that element is like just the drive and professionalism. And it's, I can really get into it, but it would throw shade on a lot of people who do work and I don't want to do that. I just think that a lot of people that are in control aren't taking the right moves to get it there. I think they're very comfortable where they're at, and I am not.
Right. And I think you have more of an incentive to be innovative. And I think you are absolutely like one of the most innovative people in battle rap, if not the most. Like I don't want to like I don't want to like throw out secrets. It's not even a secret. It's something I saw you post on Twitter, but I don't want to like
Go
talk
ahead.
about. Well, so like for example, like you got like a government grant, right? Just to be able to like put some more funds into being able to throw events and stuff like that. And I don't think anybody ever really thought about that. I don't think anybody ever really did that. Like you're definitely the type
Since
of
we're doing
person to think
secrets,
outside the box.
we got somewhere in between 10 and 20,000 as well for a little docu-series deal that we had done. That also we're taking care of stuff with, it really helps with just like the overhead, like getting that much money we used it for the app, right? We're like, let's make these app payments and coast.
So for that docu-series thing, is that was that it was that one woman that was out at she was out at high tide.
Is that everything?
Yeah, yeah. So like I actually talked to her on Reddit prior to that, kind of just like started telling her about kind of battle rap in general, just because she wasn't familiar with the scene and shit.
Yeah, she got funding for for her
That's so.
I don't know if it's a documentary or if it's a docu-series. I think it's a series because they came to Mass and they showed me episode 1, so it's a series.
Oh, they showed you the whole episode. Damn, I got the sizzle reel. I got the one where homeschool comes out and he was like, "Did you see that?" It was
Yeah, I
just like
seen
a
it.
trailer or whatever, and like, yeah, it was so fire. I'm very excited to see that drop because it's just like I really want to see battle rap grow. I think that like part of it is definitely being able to make sure that it's got to be cool, right? It can't be 50, 60-year-old people. Like, it's fine if those people want to battle. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but
As long as your part is to be the 50 or 60-year-old.
right.
Like if
And
you are the 50 and 60-year-old and you think you're one of the 21-year-olds and you act like you're one of the 21-year-olds and you market and brand yourself as the 50-year-old guy who thinks he's 21,
right.
then you're probably going to have a really fucking hard time.
Right. I mean, you can't be like the Undertaker after 20 years in this like WrestleMania streak, and then now all of a sudden you think that you're going to be Brock Lesnar. It doesn't work that way. You got to have new talent come in, new people, new fresh, and not only that, it represents.
But I don't want to discourage the older people because they're also needed. Like 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't give a fuck if you're 60. Like Hollow Man just had one of my favorite performances of last year.
Right.
And he has a gray beard. And not only that, he's so old that when he came back, he brought back like a 4-bar scheme that he did in like 2008. And the whole crowd said it with him 12 years later. And it was just super nostalgic and cool. So these things are needed, right? I think it's just about knowing your part and, adjusting your expectations according, right?
Yeah. There's somebody else who did that, and I want to say it was Reed Dollars, wasn't it? I don't remember. It's like I remember seeing a clip a long time ago. He like went back and like spit the same shit that he did like back in like old Smack DVD days, and like
I think
everybody.
you're thinking of the Hollow Man clip.
Oh, it might have been Hollow Man. My bad.
Yeah, like that. It was really awesome, and like I think it's so important to throw stuff like Swave Seva versus Chess on URL. You know what I mean? Like, to get the generations. Now you have all the older fans. You have 2 demographics in one battle. You're killing it.
Right.
No, the problem is that you won't even hear the word demographics in battle rap. No one's even thinking that.
Right.
No one's even thinking, oh, we'll get all the young fans to watch for Chess, all the older fans from the 90s to watch for Swave, and now we got the best of both worlds. Tell the battlers to let them know, yo, battle him like he's an old man. Yo, Swave, battle him like he's a kid. And the fans will go nuts. If you promote those 2 battlers to be as big as wrestlers, you will sell out the Garden.
Mm-hmm. One thing I want to say that like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to turn this down. I'm still very positive about the prospects of rap, but I was thinking about like, isn't it a YouTube metric or whatever? Like, what would you say, how long do people watch a battle? Like, in terms of average viewership, when first tuning into a battle, because I think I saw something that was crazy. Like maybe like a lot of people might turn it off like after the first round, right?
Yeah, about 8 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, and so that always like, how do you rectify that? Like, I mean, because
it's a different form of content consumption, right? Like, you know, there are people that watch shorts, there are people that watch the whole thing, and then there's people that fly across the country and stand up for 12 hours and watch the entire event, you
Right.
know? And I think it's just about knowing who's who, knowing your audience, and being able to give them what they want.
I mean, one thing that's really cool is like the idea of TikTok and stuff. I know iBattle has a TikTok, and
Almost
y'all
at
are,
100,000 followers. Go
yeah, I was
follow.
gonna say y'all are getting crazy fucking views up there. I know y'all got like multiple with like millions of views on them. So like that really gives me hope for like maybe bringing in like new batch of people that like maybe have
I think
never
a
watched battle
big,
rap before.
I think a big problem, Def, is like, how do I say this? This is battle rap has always been so dependent on big names, right?
Yes.
It's like Direct came in, I'm going to take all these people from 106 and Park and these DVD eras, I'm going to do this, right? And like, let's say someone's starting a league right now. No matter what league it is in the country, it's like, I'm going to have to book these big people against each other or else I'm not going to do any numbers.
Right.
You know, that dependency kills a lot of people unless you get people like, rest in peace, my guy PH, that pulls up and was like, nah, hold up. I got DNA. I got Roan. I got all these new people. Let's give them a shot.
Right.
Right.
And I feel like that fucks up the money too, like because you have such a dependency on, like this small handful of battlers, but I don't think it's a talent like deficiency, right? Like I think there are plenty of battlers, like even some of the bigger name battlers will still go on stage. They'll still give like a very half-assed performance. So I've seen people freestyle. Don't want to call names, but like I've people who will get paid $5,000. I'm gonna go freestyle on URL. That's fucking dumb to me. Like why would you pay that person ever? Like that's a bad investment. Like just because they have a name. And when you look at a lot of like big name battlers, even today, a lot of them do still kind of stem from like the grind time era or the DVD era. Like a lot of the names we have been around for so long, but there are some new names like Eunice and Appa and like just like
I think the way to do it though is to make sure that Appa is seen just as much as the rest of them. You
right.
have to throw Appa in everyone's face nonstop every day.
Right. And his resume is absolutely fucking insane. And I think he has a really good win record, all things considered. So it's just like, it's hard
Undefeated. I believe he's 9-0.
Right. I mean, so he's already incredibly talented, but it's just like, I don't know, how do you really get to the point of like, how do you build somebody to a level of Loaded Lux or a level
you brand them and you market them. And like, dude, you'd be amazed. Like this kid, Exotic Za, right? Most people in battle rap don't know who the fuck he is. He's a fucking little kid that raps in his bathroom on TikTok, right? Straight up.
We all start somewhere.
We all start somewhere. But guess what? This kid started with 120,000 followers.
Right.
Right? In his fucking bathroom. Right? Now, Tariq is on a card with him. Tariq's niece comes up to him and tells him, "Oh, you're on a card with Exotic Za? I follow him on TikTok." This is where you start. This is where it starts, right? You make sure they're ready for that type of attention. You make sure that they know how to convert that following into sales so they can get paid, they can get opportunities, they can travel, get nicer, whatever, ring gear, right? That shit is important, bro. You got to look the fucking part, right?
Right.
All types of stuff to make yourself look better, treat yourself like a star, look like a star. And the only way to do that is to draw, right? So I think it's about like teaching these battlers how to promote correctly, and also on my end, learning how to promote them correctly from our platform, right? Like I said, you have to throw Appa in everybody's face 24/7 to make him a star. Well, guess what? I'm going to have to sit here 24/7 and post him, like that's what it takes. And I don't think the other guys are just willing to do that for other people. And I don't blame them, because it's like you put all this time into somebody and then they skate and right. I don't want to battle anymore. Or go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, one thing with Appa, right? Like, so Appa, I feel like has an insane like work ethic as a battler. He every time I see him, he's always active. He's always in like a Twitter space with all the other everybody knows who he is. and he does, and also he works like he battles a lot. He battles, but he's battling really well. Not everybody can battle a lot and also battle and be good, right? And then he'll do music.
How you get Appa to the Loaded Lux level is you put him in front of as many people as Loaded Lux has been in front of.
Right.
The internet now. I could make 10 iBattle pages and just post Appa every day.
Right.
Different clips.
I'm going to make a wild statement here, but I believe that Appa is better than Loaded Lux. But yeah, as a battler.
I mean, dude, yeah, you're preaching to the choir.
Right.
You know? Like, I watched Nitty and Lux, and granted, like, Lux was good. I'm not saying he's bad, but like, you know, there were some rounds there and even just some material where I was like, dude, what? Like, what the fuck? You know, Not Kim would never say that. You know, you know, like that's borderline cutting room floor shit that you're spitting, right?
Right.
And the point is, they're still there because no one has got the Appa to their level yet.
Right.
No one's put in the work to do that. You know, and it takes a shitload of work, but it works. You know, like, look at these live streamers. You know, like these kids that are in real life streamers, Kai Cenat, this guy, that guy. The reason they're so popular is because people clip them all day long and post them. And it's like thousands and thousands of accounts. If I made thousands of Appa accounts and posted him every day, Appa would be famous.
Right.
I just don't have the time to do that. And also, if I convinced 1,000 people to do this with me, they'd just be like, yo, you're crazy. You know? Right.
Well,
that's the reality of it, though.
Yeah, I think the hard part really is that there is always a finite amount of engagement that people will do for you, right? Where you say like, oh, I need y'all to share this battle. People will do that like maybe once or twice, you know, or maybe once a month or something like that. But it's really hard to get everybody on board. Like, here's all the people that we want to promote. Like, the problem is, like, iBattle has an abundance of fucking talent, right? You got Appa, but then you also got people like Los Preem, you got Fibo, you got, you know, Nakim, and pretty much everybody in Syndicate, fucking incredible. Then you also have, you know, Homeschool, Nox, and there's just so much talent there that it's hard to really kind of push them all like at the same level.
I used to think that, but I really don't think it is anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I there's so many things that I used to think were difficult or impossible that now I've just seen other people do them.
Right.
I've just seen other people do them, and I refuse to take any statement that says I can't do the same. You know, you know that guy that's going viral right now for saying fucking Puerto Rico's a floating island of trash.
I did not see it, but
all right, it's Tony Hinchcliffe, the guy from Kill Tony.
Okay.
He dude just ran some stupid game show in a basement in Texas, and now he sold out Madison Square Garden. He's just spoke at Trump's rally because he got so popular from that.
That's crazy.
He just didn't let anybody tell him no. You know, they're like, you're a gay comedian and you're not funny and your show is stupid. And then, you know what? One day it just fucking blew up. Now, I'm sure it wasn't one day. I think it's probably 5,000 here, 10,000 here, 20,000 here. Then one day he's like, yo, I'm selling out Madison Square Garden. I'm touring the country and I'm putting all my friends on. It is possible. I just don't know how to do it. But I've been learning a little bit every day.
You used to, like, you might still, I don't know. You used to do a little bit of work with the independent wrestling brand, right? So can you tell me, like, what you learned from that, like, maybe you applied to rap battling and kind of like where the similarities lie? There are a lot of people who, for some reason, are into rap battling and wrestling. Like, there is an overlap that is quite...
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many parallels that it might as well just be the same fucking thing.
Right.
Right? Like, we might as well just punch each other at the end. Fuck it. You know?
Just do like a fucking Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, we might as well, because it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they do better than us, to be honest, but they've had a lot more time. You know, it's like a fucking, 200-300-year-old business.
Right.
Whereas battle rap is like 20, not even. Right? Like, we didn't start doing pay-per-views till like fucking less than 15 years ago. You know? So... it's still a baby. And, I just think it takes the vision of what every league owner, period, is trying to project what they think battle rap is, right? I just want to project what Wave Street is. The rest of battle rap can have that. You know
Just
what I mean?
for the
Like,
record, if you don't know, Wave Street is where iBattle hosts most of their battles now.
I want to project us and what we do. And I think that is enough. From the different characters, from the different styles, just everything. It's just a fucking cornucopia of personas, right?
Right.
That will take you to the moon no matter what the fuck we did. We could all be TikTokers in a house and it'll do fine.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I just think that it takes time and attention to detail and persistence, right? And that's all it really takes. And also the vision, you know? The vision. I personally, my vision for it, especially in 5 years, is to be able to project our characters and our styles onto people's fucking televisions, you know, and make their styles digestible for a mainstream audience, which I feel like we pretty much already do. Like, there's some things that can get taken care of that I am totally aware of, that I tell the battlers, you know, I'm like, yo, your fucking first round's all name flips. Anybody who's never seen battle rap before is gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Right? They don't know your opponent. They don't know what a name flip is. You have to somehow try to be relatable, try to come up with bars that, like, you know, make people relate to you in some way. Like pain, like Nakim is so good because the shit he just did with his grandmother, like that pain makes you mad relatable. People relate to that. They gravitate towards you. They now become your fans.
Right.
No? Homeschool jokes on him. Humor is relatable. I'm a funny guy. We have the same sense of humor. I like this guy. I am now your fan, right? Now, name flips, not relatable. Personals, depending on the angle, right? Depending on the angle, could be good. You know, callbacks to Summer Madness 2016. What the fuck is this guy talking about, right? You have to cater your material. Anderson Burris is a genius. Like, he straight up battles as an editor. Like, he's like, I'm going to do all my shit in a way, I'm going to structure all my rounds in a way that I could clip them all up and go viral multiple times. You know, he'll be like,
think about that more.
He'll come up with something and be like, oh, the average person doesn't understand this. I'm not going to say it. That's genius.
Right.
You know, that's literally genius. He'll be like, how can I break my opponent down to where a complete stranger can watch it and be like, man, that guy's nice. You know, that's battle rap. That's how you're going to get there. Right. You know, you could do a roast battle in Madison Square Garden. They've fucking done them. You can go up there and just do girl versus fat guy. And the fat guy's like, you're a girl. You can't drive. And she's like, shut up. You're about to have a heart attack. And everyone laughs. Right. It's just fucking relatable. There's no reason that the girl and the fat guy can't be battle rappers and do the same thing.
I guess on that subject, like, do you feel like what is your perspective as far as battle rap in the PC world? Because, you know, as the country evolves,
what's the PC world?
Well, just like, even to say that, like, you know, I don't know, it's like body positivity, like that, or just like, you know, anti-misogyny, all of that, like, you know, like you'll see it in, it's really applicable to us because, like, you know, like the F word, for example, you no longer can put that on YouTube, to my understanding. So it's like, if somebody says that, then, so it's like, when it's the combination of trying to appeal to this, you know, wide audience, but also understanding that they don't all have the same, you know, perspective on, like, oh, that was funny, right? You know what I mean?
I guess the point is having the different characters that apply to every different person, to where someone could be like, I don't like this battle rapper. He offended me. Well, guess what? You're the bad guy now.
Right.
And now you have even become more of a draw, right? And the second one is, I'm going to find this person that I do like, and that's who I'm going to root for.
Right.
You know, so yeah, like, you are going to get people who are hated because of the approaches that they take, but that's not a bad thing always, you know, like Phoebo pushed homeschool and that's it. Like, fans hate him now. He's the bad guy for life.
He was already making a push for himself, but as the bad guy. But he like, yeah, that definitely like helps solidify it. And like, I think there's something to be said about that. The art of storytelling, even through the concept of like battle rap, where you really don't have control. Like in wrestling, they have control. Like this is who's going to win. This is what's going to happen. In battle rap, you kind of don't know. They have, the artists have the freedom they could go on there and say like, the craziest shit that you don't approve of.
I think that's up to me to do my due diligence though, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I hit up Mac Myron before the battle and was like, please don't say this word.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't against FIBO.
Right.
And it got monetized. It's really that simple. Right.
Yeah.
And them having the respect for the booker to be like, yo, please don't say this,
And there are always going to be people who don't, right? Like, I mean,
well, fuck them then.
Yeah.
Then they don't get to be part of the 5-year plan. So
I feel
before we venture too far, I want to stick to the PC world thing and say that like battle rap is one of the highest forms of communication of two different types of people. And though it may not be politically correct, things get solved in uncomfortable areas, right? So maybe some of these things will be said that maybe you're not too comfortable with, but a different understanding will come from it, right? And I think a lot of people learn that maybe just via his performance, but with Pat Stay and No Shame, where it was kind of like, I'm going to make fun of you for being trans. And this is a crazy subject at the moment, right? I'm going to make fun of you for being trans, but I'm also going to show you a ton of respect as a person and as a competitor and let people know I love you, and you fucking shake hands and hug at the end.
Right.
And it's really just about knowing who you are, playing your part, them knowing who you are, both competitors being self-aware and taking those angles against each other. Dude, you have a blind versus death battle.
Right.
But that did mad views.
Right.
Why do you think?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like I have my own like internal like kind of like struggle. Like there was definitely part of me that didn't want to do that battle just because of that. And at the same time, I get it, right? Like I grew up from the era of like, AHAT when they used to like actually, say explicitly in the title, like this is what the battle is, right? And like
be like gay guy versus surfer.
Right. It's all clickbait, right? It's because at the end of the day, the hardest part of all things is to get somebody to click that fucking link, right? Like to get somebody to watch your shit. Like it's fine if you go out, you rap really well, you have the greatest material, but if nobody clicks it, who gives a fuck, right? Like and so like I always looked at like, okay, well I have, people are gonna rap about the fact that I'm deaf anyway, so like I'm gonna just, try to lean into
embrace it.
Right.
It's better, in my opinion, and it's only one opinion. It's better because people will go there and be like, oh, it's such a gimmick. Well, I'd rather be a fucking gimmick than fucking forgettable and not mentioned in the conversation. So it's like, who would I rather be? The blind guy, the deaf guy, or the guy that fucking nobody remembers, the nobody guy?
Right.
So it's, it's always different. Just like when Mike P was on URL, it's like, you're just the fucking white guy, but at the same time, it's like, should I be the white guy on URL or do I want to be the fucking 600th white guy on King of the Dot? Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? And it's pretty common sense for me. And honestly, not that I wish I had a gimmick, but like, I feel like being nerdy and having nerd references and like, yeah, I would get mad that people would be like, fuck Lex, he's a nerd. But then I think about it, I'm like, damn, I get booked because I'm a nerd. You know what I mean? Like,
No, you definitely had material that is relatable, to a different demographic. And when I say that, like the reality is that I think at the time, battle rap wasn't as accepting.
I had a thing that gave people a reason to click, and that's it.
Right.
And that I don't need anything else.
Right.
The tools are there. Now all I have to do is have some fun.
And I feel like, and the reality is that kind of battle rap has kind of, I think, formed to you in that way because like now I see a lot of people doing anime bars. I see a lot of people doing comic book bars and bars about whatever. Like it's become the norm to do that shit. I feel like when you first started, it was not that common. People, it would have been more likely to be, oh yeah, Lex is a nerd. But you're kind of just now like that you were a pioneer for what it was, but people kind of copied that to an extent.
I wasn't a nerd until I got to battle rap. Like I mean, listen, did I watch anime? Yeah. Do I know about comic books? Yeah. But like I wrote about it because it was something that was like missing and that I liked. And I was like, okay, I could get my point across with something cool. Like I could reference Brainiac. Right. And just like I know, we go to cards and we hear the same type of bars. Be like, oh, that's the third Lassie bar tonight. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would think like, how do I avoid that? How do I avoid being the third Lassie bar? And I'd be like, okay, by saying Brainiac, no one else was going to fucking do it. Right. So that was like my way to do it, and it fucking helped. And now it's like the most fucking relatable shit for anybody.
Yeah.
Especially SpongeBob. That's all these guys write.
iBattle is different, man. Like that's what I love about it because like the environment is I feel like it's very chill. It does feel like a family sometimes, like where people are just like at the event just there to have a good time. I've been to like so many other like battles and shit where like fights break out. I mean to this day I've yet to see one happen at iBattle. I know there definitely been fights at iBattle, I'm sure, right? Like
Louis just smacked Raja.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch that. I do know that there was the whole thing with the scope, the toothpaste, and that.
Well, he didn't really slap him. He kind of just like took the toothpaste off his sleeve and then mushed it in his face.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, like, but also like I feel like that's also. It's storytelling in a way, even though it's all unscripted. It's all like, going back to what you're saying, like, oh, here's the person you like and the person you don't like that is like the storytelling that like happens organically, right? You don't have to say, oh, Raja, you do this. Like he just did that because he thought it would be a good idea, whether or not it was. And then like,
definitely not.
but like, but that's kind of fire, right? Like, it's kind of cool that like, it just plays out like that. Right.
Yeah. And they shake hands at the end.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing I love about battle rap too, is like even when you have this like hostility, even when you like are calling each other names for 3 rounds, like at the end of it, usually 99 out of 100 times there's like respect, there's like dap up, like that's it, right?
Louis straight up shook his hand at the end and was like, yo, that was whack, don't do that again. But
Yeah, and that's like that's such a kind of a beautiful thing about battle rap that I wish like people outside of battle rap got to see a little bit more, which was like kind of like, yeah, you have this hostility, but then like you also have this like community. You also have this, respect that, between different battlers and stuff. I remember when I was doing like a 2v2 in San Antonio with Refractor. This was a long time ago. Like I didn't have a place to stay. So like I didn't even know our opponents that well, other than having done research and wrote bars where I
battle.
Like, what's that?
Who did you battle?
It was 2 dudes from A-Hat. They're not big names. Seaweave and Young Sap. And like so I spent the whole like battle calling like this guy like a redneck and shit. And like then after that, like I had no place to stay, and like he had like an extra bed. Him and his girl were staying there, and like he had an extra bed, so I stayed there. But like it's just that like level of like, it's like I don't know, just love and respect, because like
it's like wrestling.
The only thing we have in common is that we happen to battle each other, right? Like I don't know you other than that, but like you still did a nice thing for me,
It's like wrestling, and you sit there and you're like, we don't have anything in common other than that we battle each other. But fact of the matter is, you probably have more in common with that guy than like 80% of the people you know.
Yeah, it's definitely like there's so many people that I feel like when I talk to them about battle rap, they just don't get it. They don't understand like why I'm into it or anything. But it is what it is. Like it's.
I was out in, I forget where the fuck I was at. I was somewhere. And I go downstairs and Chef Trez is in the lobby in my hotel. And I'm like, oh shit, what up, Trez? It was my first time meeting him, right? And He was starting bullshit, and I was like, what are you doing down here? Like, he's like, yo, I'm waiting on the league owner. He's not hitting me up. It's very early in the morning, though. That's probably the league owner's probably asleep, right? He's like, I can't get into my hotel room. I said, yo, bro, I got a second bed. You could just go upstairs and go to sleep. You could do whatever the fuck you want. I got some weed up there. You want to roll up, whatever, you good, you know? And yeah, like, it's exactly like what you said. Like, we just, here you go, bro. You know, you're me. You are me. You're me. And then one day I'm going to be in a fucking hotel lobby and somebody's going to have to give me their bed. You know?
Right.
You know, it's a fucking chain, you know, and we're very carny like that. Battle rap is very carny.
Yeah.
You know, we're no different from the fucking, you know, the muscle man and the fucking bearded lady. You know what I mean? We're really no different, because at the end, you know, it's the freak show and everything's going crazy. But at the end, we all fucking drink a beer at the end of the night and we fucking kick it, you know? Right. Same shit as wrestling. Like, you fucking broke my nose. I fucking bit your ear. We're all fucked up and bloody. Let's pop a perk and go to the fucking bar, you know? It's the same type of shit in battle rap.
So let me ask you, like, what's like the craziest thing that might have happened, like after an event or before an event, like, you know, or the craziest thing that you feel comfortable talking about, right? It doesn't even have to be.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different things that, I mean, I could go all day. I'm just going to go with the first thing that came to mind when you said that. Moneybags kidnapped A-Class once. That was pretty bad.
What happened? So you'll have to start.
Moneybags kidnapped A-Class. So like, and he stole our rental. So he
stole your rental.
Yeah, Moneybags got really drunk and he was like, I'm going to the store. And A-Class was like, all right, take me with you. But A-Class didn't know that he was drunk. He didn't know that wasn't his car. And Moneybags also locked the doors and took him on the freeway going like 120 and kidnapped him for like 45 minutes to an hour. And A-Class was calling our phones and was like, please tell him to stop the car and take me back. And Moneybags is just like smoking blunts, drinking, breaking the speed limit, and refuses to give A-Class back to anybody.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then at the end, he came back and he ran out of the car. And he ran back inside, and Moneybags was like, I'm sorry, everybody. There was so many people there. We were like at a party, you know, and then everyone got worried because they thought Moneybags was going to kill innocent A-Class, right? And he just came out. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, if anybody wants to beat me up, like, I won't fight back. You can just beat me up.
Did he say why he did it? Like, or anything?
He was just fucked up having a good time and thought it was funny to kidnap A-Class.
Man.
And he didn't have a car. We were in Florida. We were in Miami. So he just took any car. He took any car that he could get.
That's the problem. You're in Florida. You started drinking that water. And then, like, that's what happens to you. So that's
definitely one of the craziest things. And, like, you know, it was like really random. Like, New Jersey Twerk was with us and he was like super pissed at him for kidnapping A-Class. It was such weird as hell. It was just like a fucking fever dream, you know? I've had so many of those, man. I've had so fucking many. Ness Lee fucking saved my life. I almost fucking fell off a building in South Africa when I was drinking, and he grabbed me and caught me as I was falling off the fucking building.
Why were you on the building drinking in the first place, bro?
Because I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's the answer right there.
I'm a fucking idiot. You know, and I was drinking before I got on the roof.
Right. No, because you get drunk and then you decide it's a good idea, and then you're
yeah, right.
What happens if I try to fly?
Yeah, I did a couple stupid fucking things. Like I probably shouldn't have battled active. That was really dumb. Like, you know, he was like beating up his opponents and robbing them in the middle of the battle, like in the middle of the second round. And then they're like, yo, Lex, you want to battle this guy? Hell yeah, you know?
Has there ever been anybody who you said, like, oh, I'm not going to battle that guy? Like, not even, for whatever reason. Nah.
This is the one I probably should have said that to, though.
Right.
You know, because it was like in LA, he's beating his opponents up. And mind you, like right after we battled, they jumped Math Alpha. So like, I thought I was going to be Math Alpha.
Yeah.
You know,
crazy.
I'm like, yo, this guy's going to try to beat me up. That's the battle I wore the jiu-jitsu gi in.
Mm-hmm.
Because my plan was, if I get jumped, I'm just going to knee bar somebody. I'll break somebody's leg. And then like the title could be like Lex gets jumped, breaks guy's leg, you know?
Right.
I'm good with that. But, you know, the kid that I battled, He didn't touch me. He wasn't physical with me at all. And he's been physical with all of his opponents, like straight up literally robbing them in the battle, right? Taking their wallet out of their pocket and fucking keeping it. And I took the battle, and my friends thought I was stupid. I was like, nah, I'm going to wear this gi. The gi doesn't have any pockets. He can't fucking go in my pockets. You know what I mean? Like, he can't do anything. I'm just going to submit somebody if I have to. And he didn't do shit. And I went up to him after the battle. I was so mad. I was like, why didn't you fucking, I was like mad that he didn't jump me. I was like, I was like, why didn't
I had a bar about this?
I had a whole plan. I had a whole plan set out. And I was like, why didn't you touch me? You know? And it was like, why didn't you guys try to beat me up? And Active was like, you're my friend. Like, that's why. He was like, what? He's like, do you want to get beat up? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know? I was like, no, man. But that was definitely a weird experience. You know, I battled a fucking Grape Street Crip like a couple blocks away from Grape Street. That was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been fortunate enough. I've never battled anybody that's actually been like physical. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it's because I'm like overly intimidating, but like, you know, just it just hasn't happened for whatever reason. Probably grateful.
That's why
for
I took the battle. I was like kind of intrigued by the obstacle.
Right.
You know, I'm like, how do I beat this guy knowing that he's gonna fight me? So, you know, like, let's go into the battle preparing for a fight and try to make the most of it. But everything was weird about it, yo. Like, everything. Like, we didn't sign contracts. There was no security. Like, I knew there was something weird the second I took the battle, because just like little things didn't add up throughout the event. And then Math Hoffa got jumped, and I was like, oh, it was him. It wasn't me.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, I've kept you for a long time. I won't keep you for too long. I want to do a real quick plug, I guess. Number one, if you get the opportunity, check out the iBattle app. Go on Google to type it in. The actual website, I believe, iBattle
iBattleTV.vhx.tv.
You got it. But yeah, like, definitely worth it. Y'all, like, iBattle throws events like pretty much every fucking weekend at this point, right? Like, I mean, if not 3 times a month, 4 times a month, more than probably any other league.
We throw events bi-weekly. A lot of leagues like to say that they throw the most battles in battle rap, but they don't. I don't know where the hell they get this stat from. But we throw events bi-weekly.
Right. So, I mean, there's never a lack of content. Like right now, y'all are going through the Captain's Cup, which is a memorial for Mac the Captain. Rest in peace. He was an incredible battler, and y'all have put together this tournament basically just to, you know, kind of show him love and respect, but also, you know,
to honor his name, keep his name alive. The way that the tournament is set up is to go throughout the year. So by the time it's ending, we're going to be announcing the next qualifier. So it's a never-ending tournament, and that's the perfect way to keep somebody's name alive, is by not stop saying it, you know? Right.
And that's such a fire idea too. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, right now, some of the people you got in, like, are a lot of my favorite battlers, like Archduke, and I mentioned before, like Appa, Preem, you got CJA, lots of really good fucking battlers, some of the best in the world, in my opinion. So definitely, if you're watching this, I encourage you to go get the iBattle app, get, you know, in tune with all the shit that's happening right now. Y'all do live stream pay-per-views for anybody who is a subscriber. Occasionally, the YouTube will have free live pay-per-views as well. So, and I don't think many people do that either. That's like, you do a lot of shit that, like, is, I think, you know, breaking, you know, thinking outside of the box of like the typical battle rap model, right? But yeah, I greatly appreciate you. What?
In 2 weeks, iBattle versus the Trenches.
Right.
5 versus 5. King versus Los Preem. Phoebo versus Jay Moore. Muop versus Appa. Z the Dropout versus Knox. Dre Majesty versus Nakim the Prophet. We're going to go 5-0 and sweep them.
Talk that shit.
But it'll be live on the iBattle TV app while we're plugging it.
Y'all can see y'all can see them lose live on the iBattle app. But yeah, all right. I appreciate you so much for your time, as always. Thank you.
No problem, bro.
See you, bro.